Okay, so this is a crash review of significant figures, and we are going to talk about how to tell how many significant figures a value has and how to express an answer that is either added and subtracted or multiplied and divided to the correct number of sig figs. So all you need to be able to do is know a little bit of geography. We're going to talk about the Atlantic-Pacific rule. And to use this rule, you have to know that the Atlantic Ocean is on the New York side of the United States, which is the right side, and that the Pacific Ocean is on the California or left side of the United States. So let me explain how this rule works. Pacific rule is decimal present, Pacific present. So that means that we are going to go to the California or left side of the value, and we are going to find the first non-zero digit. So my decimal's present, I'm going California left side, first non-zero digit is 2, count it and everything after it. So 3 sig figs. As simple as that. Atlantic rule. Atlantic means decimal is absent. So we're going to go to the right side of the value, and we are going to find the first non-zero digit, which is 4, count it and everything in front of it. Alright, let's do some practice. 48, decimal is absent. Absent is Atlantic rule. Go to the right side, which is the New York side, find the first non-zero digit, 8, and everything in front of it. So 2 sig figs. Decimal present. Present is California side, which is left. Find the first non-zero digit, which is 3, count it, and everything after it. Decimal present, Pacific rule. I'm going to the California side, which is left. Find the first non-zero digit, which is 3, count it, and everything after it. Same rule, 71.60, left side, first non-zero digit is 7, it and everything after it. Decimal present, California, going to the left, first non-zero digit is 4, counting it and everything after it. 10, present, going to the left, first non-zero digit, it and everything after it. And wrap it up with one other one. Decimal absent, Atlantic, I'm going to the New York side, which is the right side, finding the first non-zero digit, it and everything in front of it. Okay, so that's how you tell how many significant figures a value has. Now let's talk about multiplication and division and addition and subtraction. So basically, when I multiply and divide, my answer is expressed to the least number of sig figs. So this value right here, 3.1415, has 5 sig figs. Decimal present, Pacific rule, I go to the left, find the first non-zero digit, count it, and everything after it. This one's got 3. My answer can only have 3 sig figs because that's the least number. I do my math, and then rounding rules apply. 3 sig figs would be 7.06. I look to the right, 8 is greater than 5, round up, so 7.07. In addition and subtraction, my answer is expressed to the least number of decimal places. So this has got 3 decimal places, this has 1, so my answer can only be to the 10th place. I do my math. 3.957, 10th place is the 9, but 5 or up I round up, so 4. But it's got to be to the 10th place, so we have to make it 4.0. Alright, let's do some practice. So this is addition. So I've got 3 decimal places, 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places. So my answer can only have 2 decimal places. So I'm going to add 3.482 plus 8.51 plus 16.324. Always do the math first. 28.316. But my answer can only go to the tenths. Rounding rules apply. So 28.32 centimeters. Next one, I've got 4 decimal places here, 2 decimal places here, and 4 here. So my answer is going to have 2 decimal places. First thing I'm going to do is the math. 48.0032 plus 9.17 plus 65.4321. And I get 122.6053. And my answer can only be to the tenths place. So it's going to be 122.61 grams. Subtracting. So again, add and subtract least number of decimal places, tenths place, thousandths. Answer is going to be to the tenths place, 80.4 minus 16.532. And I get 63.868. So that would be the tenths. Rounding rules apply. So 63.9 centimeters. And last one on this type, 106.5 minus 30. So this is to the tenths. This is to no decimal places. It's a whole number. So my answer is going to be a whole number. So I get 76.5 when I do the math. So it can only be to 76. Rounding rules apply, so we're going to make this 77. Alright, now we're into multiplication and division. So multiplication division, remember, it's the least number of sig figs. So 48.2 is 3 sig figs, 1.6 is 2, 2.12 is 3. So my answer is going to have 2 sig figs. So 48.2 times 1.6 times 2.12 is 163.4944. And I can only have two significant figures. Well, that presents a problem because that would be here. Well, I have to round down now. So 3 is less than 5, so we're going to make this 160 without a decimal. The other way that I could express it is I could do 1.6 times 10 to the 2 because this has 2 decimal places in it. Hope that wasn't too confusing. Alright, next one. Oh, I forgot my units. And centimeters times centimeters times centimeters, so cm cube. Alright, 8.3 is 2 sig figs, 4.0, 2 sig figs, 0.9823, 4 sig figs. So my answer is going to have 2 sig figs because it's to the least number of sig figs. And I get 32.61236. And I can only have 2 sig figs, so that would be to here. So rounding rules apply, so it'll be just 33. And meters, meters, meters is meters cubed. And the last one, 64.34, 4 sig figs, 8.149, 4 sig figs. So my answer is going to have 4 sig figs. And I get 7.89544. Keeps going. 4 sig figs would be to the 5. 4 is less than 5, so we don't round on this one. 7.895. Alright, and that's it. I hope that was a quick, short review of sig figs.